Are you the woman everybody calls because they know you're going to handle it? Are you the one who keeps the family together, keeps the business moving, remembers everybody's birthday, solves everybody's emergency, and somehow you still feel guilty when you sit down? And here's the bigger question: who taught you that being a good woman meant being exhausted? Somewhere along the way, a whole lot of us learned that a good woman sacrifices herself, keeps everybody happy, doesn't complain, doesn't say no, and somehow manages to still look cute while doing it all. Girlfriend, that's a full time job with no benefits package. Today, I want to show you some ways that you can be a good woman, but that good woman may actually be draining you. I want to give you three things that you can start doing immediately to live with more peace, more purpose, and in alignment. Because being a good woman was never supposed to require losing yourself. Friends, it's Dr. Santrell, and around here we talk about seeing better, living better, and serving better. And today we need to talk about something that affects a lot of high achieving women, especially women who are used to being dependable. You know the woman. She works, she takes care of her family, she serves at church, she helps her friends, she remembers what everybody needs. And when somebody says, I don't know what we're going to do, everybody turns and looks at her. And she says, I got it, again and again and again. Until one day she realizes everybody has access to her except her. So stop confusing sacrifice with self erasure. There's absolutely a biblical call to serve, and there is a biblical call to sacrifice. But sacrifice and self erasure, they are not the same thing. Philippians 2 and 4 tells us to look not only to our own interests, but also to the interests of others. Notice something important. It doesn't say you don't have interests, it does not say ignore yourself. It says essentially don't live only for yourself. There's a huge difference. Some women have been taught that putting themselves anywhere on the priority list is selfish. And so they keep giving their time, their energy, their money, their attention, their emotional bandwidth until there is nothing left. Then we call it being a good wife, a good mother, a good daughter, a good Christian woman. Hmm. But depleted people eventually become resentful people. You may still be smiling, still helping, still saying, sure, no problem. But underneath it, you're tired, you're irritated, and you're wondering why nobody ever considers what you need. Sometimes the problem is not that nobody cares. Sometimes you have trained everybody around you to believe, don't worry about me, I'll handle it. And now they believe you. Lord, have mercy on us. Now, let's identify some things that you may be carrying that is not yours. I want you to take out a sheet of paper, make three columns: mine, theirs, and God's. And I want you to ask yourself, what am I actually responsible for? What belongs to somebody else? And what am I trying to control that ultimately belongs to God? Some of your exhaustion is coming from carrying things that God never gave to you. Stop calling people pleasing love. This one may step on a few toes, but we grown. Galatians 1 and 10 asks, am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Because sometimes what we call being nice, it really is being afraid. Afraid somebody will be disappointed, afraid somebody will misunderstand us, afraid somebody will think we're selfish, afraid somebody will talk about us. hmm So we say yes when we meant to say no. We volunteer when we're already overwhelmed. We answer calls when we need to rest. And we loan money that we really don't want to loan. We attend things that we don't want to attend. Then we get home, we're irritated, and everybody in the house is wondering why mama has an attitude. Mama has an attitude because mama wanted to say no 4 hours ago. That's why Jesus loved people deeply, but Jesus also had boundaries. Luke 5:15 and 16 tells us that crowds were coming to hear him and to be healed, but Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Did you hear me? People needed him and he still withdrew. If Jesus did not make himself endlessly accessible to everybody, I'm going to suggest that neither should you. You can love people and still have limits. You can be generous and still say no. You can be compassionate without becoming everybody's emergency room. I want to encourage you to practice one clean no this week. This week, say no to one thing that you would normally agree to out of guilt rather than conviction. Don't be rude, no drama, no dissertation. Just, I'm not able to do that this time. Some of y'all are going to type a 6 paragraph explanation. No, don't do it. Delete 4 of those paragraphs. Nobody asked you for your closing argument. A boundary does not require a courtroom defense. Now, my last point today, stop measuring your worth by how much you produce. Now, this may be the deepest part of the good woman lie. A lot of high capacity women have quietly connected their values to usefulness. If everybody needs me, I matter. If I accomplish enough, I matter. If I'm productive, successful, helpful, needed, dependable, then I'm valuable. But your worth was never supposed to come from your performance. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 10 says, "We are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to good works." Notice the order. You are God's workmanship first. Then comes the work. You do not become worthy because of what you accomplish. Your work flows from who you are. That distinction changes everything. Because if I believe my identity comes from productivity, rest feels irresponsible. But when I understand that my identity comes from God, rest can actually become stewardship, good time management, if you will. And some of us need to redefine success. Success cannot only mean that I get everything done. Maybe success today is, did I stay in peace? Did I honor my priorities? Did I show up fully for what mattered? Did I leave enough of myself to actually enjoy my own life? Because what is the point of building a beautiful life when you're too exhausted to experience it? So maybe try this today. Schedule yourself into your own life before your week starts. Identify one thing that restores you and put that on your calendar. Not after everybody else's need, not if I have time. Put it on the calendar first. Is it prayer? Is it walking? Is it reading? Lunch alone? A workout? Just sitting on the porch doing nothing but minding your business. That counts too. Protect something that reminds you that you are a person, not just a producer. Now, let me leave you with this question. What would change in your life if you stopped trying to prove that you were a good woman and started becoming a whole woman? A woman who serves but doesn't disappear. A woman who loves deeply but still has boundaries. A woman who is ambitious but not addicted to achievement. A woman who trusts God enough to stop carrying everybody and everything. That is what elevated living is really about. It is not about abandoning responsibility. It's not about learning how to live. It is about learning how to live intentionally so responsibility does not consume your identity. And if you're listening to this thinking, okay, Dr. Santrell, you all up in my business today, good. Because awareness is where change starts. In my book, Live Life Elevated, and the accompanying workbook, I help women take these kinds of realizations and actually work through what needs to change: your priorities, your thinking, your habits, and ultimately the way you design your life. Because inspiration is wonderful, but we need steps, we need action. And you can learn more at elevatedliving.us. Now, before you leave, tell me in the comments, what is one expectation you are finally ready to stop carrying? I want to hear it. Until next time, keep seeing better, living better, and serving better. I am Dr. Santrell. Oh, and remember, being a good woman does not require you to disappear.